Hello, and welcome to our new vocabulary for ancient Greece. So we're calling this vocab part 1 because Greece is a big unit and we're going to have more than one set of vocabulary words. We wanted to break it into sections so it will be easier. So hopefully you have a buzz chart already drawn out on your paper, and if you do not, go ahead and pause me and do that now. You want to have 4 columns as usual. Word in the first column, definition in the second column, buzzword in the third column, and picture in the fourth column. And then we'll go through the words. So if you want to pause me, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I'll assume that you are ready to move on. The first word is peninsula. So this will go under column 1, or under the word column. For number 1, you'll write peninsula. And then next to that, for definition, you will write a piece of land, supposed to say nearly surrounded by water. So water on 3 sides. And we're showing you on this picture, this is Florida from a satellite photo. So you can see that we have water on 1, 2, it kind of cuts off a little, but there's 2 sides of water, and there's 3. So we're only connected by the top. So that's what defines Florida as a peninsula. So for your buzzword, you could put Florida, perhaps. And for your image, you could do a little quick sketch of Florida, or another. India is another example. It's a bigger example. India is an entire country that is a peninsula hanging off of Asia. All right. Agora is our next word. So this is number 2, and the definition is a gathering place or marketplace in ancient Greece. So if you like to shop, this would be like an outdoor mall. There would be all kinds of shops that you could pop into, almost like they might be. If you've ever been to a flea market, outdoor little tables that you might walk up to and buy something. So in ancient Greece, there are no Walmarts or Publix or Target. It is every little shop sells a specific item. So if you need meat, you go to that shop. If you need clothes, you go to that shop. Shoes, another shop. Everything is its own specific little shop, and you could get all of those items in the agora. So for your buzzword, you might want to put shop. You don't have to take any of my buzzword ideas. I'm just trying to help out. And then for your picture, whatever reminds you of a shopping area, a marketplace. Number 3, phalanx. And this is a group of armed foot soldiers. So let's break that down for a second. Armed doesn't mean arms like you have 2 arms hanging off your body. Armed means with weaponry. There's no guns at this time in history. We're in BC times. So armed in this case means sword, dagger, spear, something like that. So armed foot soldiers. Foot soldiers means they are not riding a horse. They are walking. So a group of armed foot soldiers in ancient Greece arranged close together in rows. So my buzzword, I always think of tight. Like this is a very tight formation to walk in. If any of you are dancers, you know how this works, where you're so close to the next dancer that you're just arm length apart. These guys weren't even arm length apart. They wanted to be tight so that if they were being fired on, if the enemy was throwing things at them, they could take their shields and make protective sort of like a ceiling of shields. And then you can draw, if you want to draw one of these long spears, you could, any kind of ancient weaponry. Remember, no guns. Tyrant is our next word. An absolute ruler, unrestrained by law. So there are no rules. If you are the tyrant, you make the rules. You don't have to follow anybody else's. And you get this kind of power through usually fear or intimidation. You kind of scare your people into listening to you. We're going to talk more about this later in the week. A buzzword could be one. It could be scary. Usually tyrants, that's not a positive word. It's a word that means that they're ruling by force and fear. And then your little picture, if you draw a stick person holding a stick, that would be great because that will help later in the week. We're going to draw the same thing when we talk about a tyrant as one of 4 different forms of government we'll talk about. So this is just one of the 4 we'll talk about, and you'll already have a jump start by knowing what this means. Oligarchy, it's a silly sounding word. That CH makes the K sound, oligarchy. A government in which a small group has control. So you see a group of men, it was men in ancient Greece, unfortunately, no equality with women in government. But in this case, a small group that has control. For your buzzword, group could help. So you can differentiate that from tyrant, which is one. And then for your image, you could draw this little group of people, or you could draw them as stick people. Next word, democracy. Definition, a government by the people. So you see a hand voting there. So for your buzzword, you might put vote, and you might draw a voting ballot or something like this, because it means that people get to vote. When you have a tyrant as the ruler, people do not vote for that person, nor do they vote for oligarchs, for oligarchy. Those are people who decide that they will be the ruler through their own decision, not because anyone voted for them. Monarchy. We've had this word before. It's coming up again because it's a type of government. A government whose ruler, a king or queen, inherits the position from a parent. So it's passed through a family. So what makes this different from a tyrant are the words king and queen. That's the what you would call, that's the title of a monarch. And the inheriting the position. That makes them different from a tyrant. Tyrants don't usually pass down their children. Buzzword king or queen. I would totally draw a crown for my picture for this. These are both European style crowns, just so you know, when we get into Asia, you'll see some different crowns. And that's your last word. So you should be all set. If you need anything, this is also in PowerPoint form if you'd like to watch it that way. And of course, message me if I can help. Have a great day.